Look, the only person that's coming to save you is the old version of yourself that is sick and tired of your current version. It's the only person that's coming to save you. Nobody else is coming to save you. You know this. You know there's nobody who's going to just throw a parachute, make sure that you land safely. Everyone's focused on themselves. So you have to tap into that old version of you and figure out what pain you're feeling and be able to catapult and reinvent yourself this upcoming 2025. All right, so I'm going to show you, I'm going to give you a 6-step system on how you can actually start to reinvent yourself. So the first thing that you have to understand, the first step is getting a clear vision of what your ideal version of yourself looks like, speaks like, is, personify it, give it a name, do something, but identify, get a clear vision of who that ideal version of yourself is in the future and bring it to the current, right? So who is he? What does he wear? What does he eat? What are his habits? What is his name? Maybe call him a new name. It does help to rename certain things because it shows growth. But you have to have a clear version of your ideal self, and you have to be able to meditate on that clear version of yourself every single day. Every day that you wake up, you have to know who that ideal version of yourself is because you are competing with that person every day to become that person, and if not, to surpass that person. That ideal version of you needs to then transition to another old version of you where you're then leveling up again. So that's step number one. Step number two, you need to create a gap. You need to get as far away, or really, you just need to create a gap between the old you and the new you. Create a huge gap because a lot of people, they don't do this, right? One, they don't even think about what a new version of themselves look like. And two, they stick with the old version, but that new version is so close to them that they don't feel like there's a painful gap. Once humans understand, when you start to internalize the fact that there is a gap that needs to be filled, you're going to start doing the actions that need to be taken place to become that person. So really visualize a huge gap in between the new version of yourself and the current version, which should be the old version of yourself. And now you need to figure out what are the steps that I need to take to basically get to that new version of myself, right? So literally get as far away from that person as possible. If you need to, if you need to, you have to start literally just visualizing and changing your environment, changing everything that you do, just so that you can create that gap. Just so, and start analyzing what you're currently doing right now, right? So get as far, just create a gap. Number three, not just creating the gap, but you now need to transform your entire state, everything that goes on around you, your environment. Clean up your surroundings, right? Make sure your room is tidy. Make sure you start making your bed. Make sure that your routine is new. Do new things, go to new places, move to a different area. That's a drastic example, but that's one thing that you can do to now get as far away from that old version of you as possible. Because right now you're so stuck on the identity of the old version of you that you're not doing anything to change because you don't feel like you need to change. You're not signaling to your life, you're not signaling to your body that you need to make a change. If you are a fat guy right now and you're envisioning an in shape, elite, jacked version of yourself, you need to literally create an environment that encourages that. Start to buy food that encourages that. Start to do exercises, start to go to a gym, get a gym membership if you don't have one. Do a specific training routine if you don't have one, to create that new version of yourself in the current position so that you can get as far away from the fat version of you or the skinny version of you as quick as possible, right? Number 4, this is going to be important. You need to create an anti-do list. See, everybody creates these tasks for themselves. They create these different tasks that they have to do. Well, I need to do this today, do this today. And they never do these lists, right? So what I want you to do is create an anti-do list of all of the things that you do not want to do anymore, all the things that are keeping you behind. So literally, if it's procrastination, if it's whatever bad habits that you have, write down 3 to 5 bad habits that you have. Right? Once you write down those 3 to 5 bad habits, you're going to make sure that you don't do those every day, because what's going to happen is when you don't do those habits, you're going to automatically do the opposite. You're going to do the things that you're supposed to do, right? So you want to make sure that you have that anti-do list so you know what not to do, because humans, in terms of their mind, they focus more on the negative. That's why negative videos always do well on YouTube, on social media, because humans fixate on the negative. So to trick your brain, start to fixate on all of the things you shouldn't do and don't do those things versus try to figure out what are the things you should do, because that's what's going to make the change. When you get those bad habits out of your system, when you get out of that cycle of doing those bad habits, maybe it's sleeping late, maybe it's eating junk food, maybe it's overthinking, again, procrastinate. There's so many different things that you need to get rid of so that you can start to shed your old self and create the new version of yourself. Right? Now, the next thing you have to understand is that you have to identify and analyze your weak points. See, human beings have strengths and they have weaknesses. And you have to figure out what your weaknesses are, right? Figure out what are those worst traits that you have that are keeping you from becoming that new version of yourself. Like I said, could be procrastination, could be limiting beliefs, negative thinking, right? Self sabotage. Think about those different things. And the reason why you think about these traits is because now they're just surface level. You have to figure out what's triggering those things. What are triggering the negative self beliefs, negative self talks? What's triggering you procrastinating on everything that you do? What's triggering you from making decisions quickly, right? From being overly analytical and overthinking everything to the point where you never make a decision. What are the underlying limiting beliefs? What are the underlying actions that are being done every single day? The underlying perspectives that you're having every day that's causing you to do that thing, right? Once you figure out, you analyze these things and you come to the root problem of why these things exist, you will start to make a change, right? So now, the sixth thing that you need to do, gamify everything. Life is a game. I've told you this before. Nothing, no progress you're going to make is going to be sustainable unless you gamify the process. Unless you start to visualize your life as a video game, you have stats, right? Strength stats when you're in the gym. Um, you have relationship stats, right? If you're looking to be in a better relationship, you have all kinds of financial stats, right? Your resources, your money. You need to start literally gamifying the process and figuring out all of the different quests that you need to go and do to be able to achieve the level 100 that you're looking to be. That's your ideal version of yourself. You may be at level 20 right now, maybe at level 5, you may be at level 50. Figure out where that level is and start to do these quests. Start to learn new skills. Start to go to the gym, right? Hire a coach if you need to go to the gym. That's what I do, right? Fitness coaching. So if you're interested in that, link is in the description. Book a call with me. See if it makes sense to work together. But that's just the foundation. The foundation is strength. Once you have the strength, you have the energy, you can do everything else, right? Yeah, you can make money on your own without having to be in shape, all of that. I know people are going to say that. But the reality is you will make more money when you are in shape because people will see you a different way. More opportunities will come to you. You'll be able to actually start to build yourself up in the social hierarchy, right? So that things will come easier to you. You'll have more energy to do more work. You'll have more clarity of mind to be able to find opportunities. This exists when you get in elite shape, when you're in the gym and you're training your mind and your body, right? So if you're interested in that, again, link is in the description. Um, but either way, you have to be able to gamify everything. Get all of your stats to 99, right? That this is basically a step-by-step six-step system that if you implement right now before 2025 hits, you will achieve your goals. You will become a new version of yourself. You will be unrecognizable next year around this time. Literally, step by step by step by step. And the new version of you is going to be birthed from the old version of yourself hating where they're currently at. That's the only way this is going to work. If you're comfortable with where you're at, if you're satisfied, maybe this video is not for you. Maybe you are your ultimate version, right? And if that's true, congratulations. But most people are not. Most people have big aspirations. That's why a lot of men are depressed, because men have crazy aspirations for themselves, but their current self is not fulfilling on those crazy aspirations. That current self is not placed in those crazy aspirations. So there has to be a shift. Any form of depression only exists because you're not where you want to be. That's it. So this is literally a step-by-step process on how you can get to where you want to be with any goal that you have, with any endeavor that you have, with any form of identity that you shaped in your brain. This is going to help you. So if you found this valuable, share this with a friend who needs it. Rewatch this many times if you have to, because this video is one of the most important videos I've probably put out so far, because there's a lot of information, there's a lot of actionable steps for you to take. But I want to see you win. I want to see you win in 2025. So I appreciate you, and I'll catch you on the next video.